Yes.
The one and only. You are a busy guy to get.
I think it's seasonal.
Okay.
It depends on which timeline that you're working with, which it can be busy. Like right now after this, is a lot of movements that I have to get involved with. Yeah.
Okay. But it is a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
The first time I saw you, it was in a symposium, an IT one and cybersecurity at the Summit Center.
Yes.
And
a while back.
And you were talking to people, you're talking to us about cybersecurity and all that. You are the cybersecurity expert.
There are many of us. Maybe I'm the vocal one.
Okay.
I tell people it's all about how well you bring out certain details. So, I mean, there's so many experts out there. Maybe they don't like talking.
But I heard about you from a friend from a very long time. He's a computer guy, and he told me, wow, I've met this guy, and he's really good on cybersecurity. Okay. What's your story? How did you get into cybersecurity? First of all, who are you and where do you come from?
So I'm originally from Ghana, but I've been in Kenya for quite some time now, almost 21 years. 4 years of those was in South Korea, where I did my master's and PhD, focusing on cybersecurity actually. But I'm from Ghana is where my life has started around, tech, cybersecurity, basic coding. I try to be a programmer, but I think the life of programming is not really in me. I later came to Kenya, went to St. Mary's School, later went to Daystar. It's where a lot of learnings came through because I was exposed. Okay. Or rather, I exposed myself. There's being exposed to things and then there's actually exposing yourself to whatever you have around. So used to stay in labs where I try to practice basic details of cybersecurity. Learning how to create malware, learning how to hack a network, how to hack applications, basics of those. Those skills of those days are not the same as right now. Things have changed.
What years are we talking about?
Wow, that's 2009?
Okay.
Then later got a first job in cybersecurity, proper actual job in cybersecurity at Cellulant. Okay. So I was a junior cybersecurity engineer, entry level. Did about a year, 8 months before I went for my master's and PhD in South Korea. And then I came back as the head of cybersecurity.
Wait. You just mentioned I went to South Korea. And how did you end up in South Korea? All the places.
I know.
No,
my dad went there. Basically, he went for a conference, and then there's a guy he kept on bumping into. And they had a discussion, and the guy's like, I can get a scholarship for him.
No.
It was nothing. I didn't choose South Korea. I never would have thought of South Korea in a million years. Okay. The choice of the country was actually South Africa. Okay. That was my dream place to go do, my master's. PhD was not in the game. I had never thought of PhD ever, but it was an experience. Let me tell you, it's not your everyday master's or PhD that you do. Okay. Yeah, they are very different, a bit more focused in terms of what you do. For my master's, I was supposed to do 24 credits of work. I did 42. So I had extra credits.
How?
I just kept going for every class. Whatever was there being taught, I'm always there. You teach it at the time, artificial intelligence was a class. Okay. I didn't know to become a big thing now. Okay. I was going for the class, learning the basics of what is involved in artificial intelligence, trying to write automation tools for robots and everything. But it was for fun. I was just going because I have time. But it's fun enough. I think the Kenyan culture of education forced me to be able to adjust to that. Okay. Does that make sense?
What do you mean by that, Kenyan culture?
You know how Kenyan universities, you're doing 15 hours of classes?
Yes.
There, you're only doing like 6. So I have a whole long week.
Free time.
Free time, I'm like, okay. The free time is not really free because you still have to do research. So I was part of... assignments are easy. Okay. Research is the harder part because the research you're in a lab. The lab is basically an office. So like the beautiful office you guys have here. Okay. Just an office. You work, you research, you write papers, you find out what is new and everything. So our professor actually every week you have to bring a new research topic. What you've researched, what is happening in the world, what are people doing, what is the big thing. Is it quantum computing that is coming up soon? I don't know. If is it 3G, is it 4G? For example, there's a time I actually researched about Wi-Fi. I don't know if you've ever heard of Wi-Fi.
Never heard of it.
This light becomes the connection.
Oh, okay.
So wherever the light shines,
There's a connection.
there's a connection. That becomes your internet. Okay. So internet was actually being through light. So reading about those, sometimes trying them out, and you have to present every week.
Wow.
So you're not at any point in time, your brain just relaxing.
It is work.
It's work.
Oh, wow.
So I took that plus many other subjects, during those free times to be able to do. So, but it was quite tedious because you have to write papers. Some have published, others have never published internationally or locally in Korea. You have to go to conferences to present those papers. Otherwise, it's just another paper that you have.
Had you learned Korean language?
No, we were being taught in English because there were a lot of more foreign students, and then some classes had a few Korean languages, but the professors can all speak English.
Okay.
So it make it easy. So PhD was supposed to be 36 credits. They reduced mine to 30, and those 30,
because you had
I had so many of them, and then some of them were like repetition. So they reduced it, and I did 10. So 1.5 years I was done with the PhD coursework. But I started writing the paper at the beginning because I knew exactly what I wanted to write about, which was basically how do you hack a country? That's basically what I was writing about. How to hack a country, how to get its vulnerability management for a country, and what we need to do on a national security level.
Okay.
So I wrote that, and so 2 years, I was basically done. The challenge though, masters, for you to finish your masters, you have to repeat 3 exams you've done before. You've passed them.
Okay, you've passed.
You've passed. You've never failed.
But just in case.
Just in case. Because I only got a B plus once. Okay. All the others was A's. I was a straight A student.
Okay.
Somehow. Korea shapes you in different ways. But apart from that, in a PhD is 5 exams. So you have to repeat all 5. If you fail one, you have to wait for the next semester to do the graduation exam. It's called a graduation exam.
Wow.
That was hard.
And you passed?
Miraculously.
Without repeating any?
No, without repeating.
I think you are a bright student. I think you are.
Let me tell you, I've met people who did amazing things. Koreans are wired differently. Asians generally.
Okay.
They're wired differently. Their thinking, their dedication to work, they're just basically
their
different. Systems
of
life. They're systematic. They're a bit too,
rigid?
A bit, I would say so, but somebody will tell you we're going to meet at a particular time to be 9:47 or 9:58.
Like, why not 10?
No, why not 10 or 9:45? I mean, that should be there. It's been flexible.
Yeah, round off.
But they're like, no, that's how it is.
And they will be there.
Yep, and they're very respectful as well. So there's a lot of respect for seniors, peers. There's a bit of discrimination at a point in time, at the beginning part of things, but I think on the second year, getting to third year, they were a bit more accommodating to foreigners. Okay. Because there were never that many foreigners. So yeah, it was quite an interesting journey. I've learned a lot. I kid you not.
Okay. Yeah. Then after South Korea, you came back.
So in between, I was still working for Cellulant.
Okay.
So I used to come to Cellulant, still do work.
Okay.
And then later I applied, the role came. I wrote to Cellulant like, hey, I would love to actually come and take this role as the lead. So it was a rigorous interview, not like the first time where, Cellulant was young at the time. I just came in. So I became the head of cybersecurity for the continent.
Immediately after?
Yes, I came back. I think right after my, right after my graduation exam? After the graduation itself.
Okay.
I came back, I think after like 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
Head for Africa?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. From intern. From an intern
to above everyone in this was in Kenya, no?
Yes, but you see also Cellulant at the time gives you something that most people don't get.
Okay.
The flexibility to innovate.
Okay.
the flexibility to think for yourself, for you to be your own CEO. So I was glad that Ken Joroga at the time, was the CEO and the founder, gave us the liberty to be able to experiment and do things, and believe in a lot of us young people, because a lot of the team was very young. Yeah, so we did quite a lot of work. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, when you were talking about hacking and how you were interested in how to hack a government, one of the most interesting things or systems that you've ever hacked?
For confidentiality's sake, I can't even say some of them.
Okay.
But my team and I, not just me, we have legally been contracted to hack, a full government system.
Okay.
By a lot of financial services, anything that is a mobile application, web applications, networks, we do all those kind of assessments. So I wouldn't call it just hacking. It's basically trying to make the systems
look for the loopholes.
Yeah, look for the loopholes. So we call it vulnerability assessments.
Okay.
And penetration testing of the network and systems and applications.
Okay.
So there's some governments who call us. There are others who just call us for what we call incident response. They basically call you and say, we had a hack that happened. We don't know where it came from. We don't know how it happened. Could you help us figure it out and also give us a strategy for where to go from there? Okay. It's a very common thing. So we see that a lot happening. And we've been, or sometimes they're like, an email has come. We don't know where it came from. We don't know who sent it. Then we have to figure out if it's real or fake, or where does it come from? How do we prevent it from happening again? Okay. Yeah, so it's the kind of service that we have been running for a while now, and that's been interesting.
Okay, I'd like to ask, to rephrase the question. Has there been a system that you tried to hack and you're completely unable to?
No, I don't think so. Okay. We call that a zero report.
Zero report?
Yeah. So we had a zero report once for a bank in Ghana. Okay. But that zero report was only on the second test. Okay. The first test was quite difficult. We had to write a whole new code for reverse engineering. Okay. But the second test, they fixed everything so well, we had nothing else to report. Okay. Basically, we just wrote the commendations. Wow. Yeah. It's like commendable, this, commendable, that. That only happened once, last year actually. Okay. Otherwise, we always find a vulnerability somewhere. Okay. Yep.
And I understand you travel a lot.
Yeah, sometimes.
Go ahead.
So my traveling, I think, started with, there's a company called AGA, Africa, Attorney General Alliance. Okay. So with Attorney General Alliance, we started training a lot of magistrate judges, law enforcement in Kenya and the East Africa region. Then we moved to West Africa. And then under that, we moved, that came now under, how do you call it, a Commonwealth Secretariat. So I'm actually a principal trainer for Commonwealth Secretariat in Africa. Then for a few years now, okay. I think maybe 3 years. Then later joined the Commonwealth Fellowship that is currently ongoing. So actually from here, my next travel in the next 2 days is to go to train the Seychelles, okay. Where we have Seychelles government on cybersecurity matters. This is a Department of Justice, Yeah, so basically I travel, but can you imagine I don't like traveling?
Because you travel too much.
I don't know. I think it's just everybody else's preference. I hate traveling.
Is it?
There's a job I got some time back. Okay. The job was basically traveling a lot. Hey, I was so tired. I was in Malawi, I remember, when I got there. I told them, after all the interviews, I told the guys, I don't think I can do this. I'm sorry. After 4 interviews.
And probably passing.
I passed. Okay. I passed. The offer was coming in. Yeah. Good amount. And I'm like, imagine. So you've been told you're traveling, you're guaranteed to be home over the weekend. Somebody tells you that.
Yeah, meaning you're probably not traveling.
You leave on Monday, come back on Wednesday, leave on Thursday, come back on Friday. Yeah. Or Saturday morning. And I know a few friends who run that. I met them on a flight. I came back from Gameli just the night before. And I met a friend. I'm like, hey, what are you doing here? Like, she was just moving with one suitcase. I'm like, honey, how long have you been around? Like, oh, just for the night. She literally came for a meeting and then go in.
And out.
So I hate the whole putting your bags, removing laptop. It can be tiring. To other people, it looks
Fun.
glamorous.
Yes.
But imagine going to Kigali is an hour 10 minutes flight, literally.
Okay.
Or if I think going is 1 hour 30, coming back is 1 hour 10 minutes. You have to be at the airport 2 hours before or 3 hours before. You have to wake up 2 hours before
to prepare to
get to the airport. So you already spent almost 4 hours just getting there. Then you get there, it's a whole bureaucracy of check-in. Then you get to the airport. Then the check-in process. You're not special. You don't have priority.
Nobody even knows you.
Nobody knows you. They don't care if you're the president. They have to get you in the system. Even if you're a member. There's some of the hotels, because now I have a membership for hotels and everything, that I can gain points. You still have to go through the process. So that's 6 hours of your day gone. You're exhausted. You woke up at unusual times. And there's some airlines and the delays, not to mention which ones, but you understand. So it can be tiring.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Another question I wanted to ask you is, other than apart from cybersecurity, what other superpowers do you have, or skills?
I used to have. I say used to because I'm still trying to get it back. So I used to practice kung fu.
Okay.
Shaolin Kung Fu was part of me. I learned Taekwondo when I was in Korea, obviously, because Korea is the zone of Taekwondo. So I do practice a little bit of Kung Fu. I stopped for a few years, which was because it became difficult to balance work and time and family and everything. I love my family, so I spend a lot of time with them. Last year, I had a heart failure. I had a clot in my lungs. I didn't know. So I've been struggling to breathe. So I tried to work out. I stopped working out and everything. Then in January, I got home one day, collapsed. Luckily, I was able to pick myself up after 4 minutes, went upstairs, collapsed again. And then my wife got me because it was late at night, at midnight. And stupid me, I refused to go to the hospital. Stupid of me. You know, we men, we are very, very stubborn. We are very, very stubborn when it comes to such a thing.
After collapsing twice.
My body flashing out, and I'm just there like, it's okay.
Now
I literally took Fanta Orange. I kid you, that was my solution. It's the sugar. I took Fanta Orange.
You were low on sugar, no? But no, you had a clot.
I had a clot, but I thought it was a seizure. I thought it was I don't know. I was diagnosing myself. My wife insisted. She changed even, like, we are going to the hospital. I said, relax. That was the most stupidest thing. That was the worst decision I could have made in life. The next morning, we went to the hospital, did the whole checkup, and the doctor's like, I'm not sure why you're here, because you're supposed to be dead.
No.
You had a heart failure. How you're here, I don't know. So at that point, I could not move. Blood thinners injection. They're like, you choose one hospital. The closest is Aga Khan and Pisha. Choose one. So I chose in Pisha. And that's how I went to Pisha Hospital. I was in HDU for 4 days.
No.
That's how as in literally, I'm just there like,
Otherwise you would have gone.
I would have gone. And I know a lot of people who had a similar thing. Clots, they get to the office, drop dead. So it's been a long year of trying to recover, trying to get to breathe properly again. Okay. Because at the time, if I was doing this podcast, I would have been like, cut. Then you have to go on.
Okay.
That's how difficult it was. I could not breathe. I stopped talking. I used to do a lot of conferences. I've done about 365. But that time, I had to just literally pause speaking because I could not speak in front of people. So I'm trying to get back in the martial arts scene, Kung Fu, because that was a discipline. It helped me to get in shape, helped me to be able to just focus on a few things here and there, working out and everything. Then I like dancing. You know, I dance a lot. If you ever see me in a club somewhere, I'm that guy who dances like I don't know who you are.
What's your favorite type of music?
Hip hop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so hip hop, trying to break dance. I had a dance crew when I was in undergrad.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. We used to actually make our own beats in school. We used to, guess who can rap, not me. and we actually go to perform on stage.
Oh.
It was fun.
Do you have those photos? Please share.
Please
share.
Those are X-Files. I'll look for some of them. Yeah.
Oh, good. What's next for you?
So, I mean, I've done quite a lot of things. I've been in cybersecurity space, and I learned so much of new cybersecurity kind of realms and services. One time I decided to open my own company because people ask me for my services, and I'm like, I can't be giving my own bank account. They need proper documentation. So, we opened a company called Cybersecurity Africa, which has been running for some time. As of December last year, I decided to do it now full time. So that's where I'm on. However, everybody's like, Bright, teach me cybersecurity. I've done a lot of, mentorship for very young people in the space, and they keep on asking, can you teach me? Can you teach me? I'm like, okay, we're going to create a curriculum, be able to give it out. So since of last year, July, we've been creating a curriculum for cybersecurity under the Africa Hackon umbrella. So Africa Hackon is a non-profit originally of things, powered by Statinev and Cyberguard Africa. I'll tell you about Statinev, where we basically help people to become cybersecurity engineers. So Academy is running. We basically charging 90,000 Kenyan shillings, I think, which is a fair price. We're just working on the accreditation part of things, but by the time somebody finishes the course, they'll be accredited to use it internationally.
Okay.
6 months program, fairly priced. You can pay in installments to make it flexible.
Do you have to be a computer expert,
No,
or
no,
I can come and I will learn something?
As we speak, the current cohort, majority of them don't even know cybersecurity. Some have not even ever used a computer before.
Okay.
And they're coding now.
Okay.
Do basic coding, basic cybersecurity work. So we try to help you to become it's a self-learning kind of a thing instead of spoon feeding. Okay. We don't like to spoon feed. Okay. So that's the kind of thing that I'd like to drive in the market, in the industry. Okay. I've done this for so many people. Okay. I said, why don't I just do it in a more structured way, with the help of the people that I've taught, a few of them, and other experts that we have in the industry. So that has been going on for some time, and so the first cohort is going on. The second cohort is starting in April. So academy.africahackon.com. They can find all the information there. Other things also, last year I was doing a lot of blockchain investigation. It became a whole part of things I've learned as well. So I have a company called 41swara.xyz.
41 Swara.
Yes.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of detail around why the 41 and the Swara. You know what a Swara is and everything. So, and 41 is a security code in the security world. Okay. So we call it 41 Swara. So we basically help to do blockchain smart contract auditing and then cybersecurity part of things. It just started. We basically just formed it just to help, that kind of work done. Then for Commonwealth being another thing, and there's Statinev is helping organizations that are startups trying to grow. We try to help them to become, to get to some level. Okay. So we do hackathons, we have monthly events that we get to do. So Statinev actually runs Africa Hackon monthly event. We do a monthly event every last week of the month. Wow. We run a masterclass, teach people about cybersecurity and the likes. That's basically things that I'm doing. I'm also a lecturer at Strathmore University. Oh. Yeah, I teach 5 cybersecurity courses, and I do consultancy for a few companies in the UK. So that's basically my life.
Let me ask, coding, is it a type of a programming? Is there a programming language that you use specifically for coding?
No. So here's a misconception. Okay. Cybersecurity doesn't mean you have to be a coder. Okay. You can understand code, but you don't have to code. Okay. There's some people who are pro coders and they understand a different kind of cybersecurity. Like when it comes to application security, they're really good at that. There's some people who understand code, but they only do more network security kind of a thing. So it depends on which kind of area you want to go to. There's some people who are in cybersecurity but have never touched code. They can't even read a line of code. Yeah. Okay. So there are people who are, let's say, if you meet somebody who's in governance, risk and compliance, they don't know code. They would never ever code. They've never understood code. They've never really done computer science, but they understand policies. They understand governance.
Okay.
Then we have people who are in cloud security engineering. So everybody have their own ways of doing things. So that misconception has to be broken that you have to have computer science skills, you have to have coding skills to be able to do that. It doesn't work like that.
But you think about another misconception that people have, especially about you, now that they understand that. But I wanted to ask specifically, because you understand code,
yes,
right? And
yes,
you
I
teach basic coding. What programming language do you use?
Because
for the beginners.
So for what I like to do is bash scripted.
Okay.
So bash scripted is basically scripting and making things automated.
Okay.
And thank God for AI. I don't have to do too much of it.
Yes.
I basically just have to prompt it on exactly what to do and it writes its code for me. And I can just modify.
Yes.
That from bash scripting, a bit of Python, because Python and bash scripting more or less almost the same kind of things. So those are the two languages that I get to focus on.
Okay.
But I know people who do reverse engineer with C until now, because some of them are, like I know there's a guy called Chooks, godfather in the cybersecurity space, like that guy is good. Chooks will write C language very well and create some malwares that are totally undetectable.
Yes.
That's not everybody can do that.
Okay.
You know, so different people, different languages, and depending on the kind of work they want to do. Part of my team understands Python way better than me. They write faster Python code. They write better PHP code and better other kind of languages. So, you know, it depends on what work you're doing. There are some who are really good at compliance. They can't code really well, but when it gets to policy, governance, and compliance or risk management, they do that extremely well.
Okay.
So that's how basically the space is looking like.
Very good.
Yeah.
Tell me about common misconceptions that people have about Bright.
Oh my God. You know, my life is very public.
Okay.
So I post on Instagram a lot. So some people see me, I post too much meme. Then they see me in a conference, they're like, Kumba, you're a serious guy.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, yes, there's that side of me as well. People think I'm a very talkative person, extrovert looking, but I can be an introvert in some spaces where I just want to keep to myself. I don't want to say a single word. But most of the time I'm extrovert. I don't eat everything. People think I can eat anything and everything.
Okay.
But trust me, I've never had fries in my life.
Never?
Never.
Are you ever going to try?
Fries and hot dogs, never had it.
And you're never going to ever?
No, I hate the smell.
Oh, okay.
I literally hate the smell of fries, so you're not going to ever find me have fries anywhere.
Okay.
A hot dog, anywhere. When I get to a place, if this room was filled with fries or hot dog, this podcast would have ended a long time ago.
Okay. Oh, wow.
But I eat chicken almost every day.
Okay.
Yep.
What's a book or a movie or any person out there that has really impacted you and motivated you, or let's say impacted you in your life?
Oh man, it is one person who really inspires me, and I think I can't go a week without watching a video about him. It's Simon Sinek.
Okay.
So Simon Sinek, it's always about, he talks a lot about leadership.
Yes,
I love everything about leadership. So, and it's a way. So the way he talks about them and everything. There's another guy called Vin. It's called, I think it's Vin. Vin is his name. I just find his handle. He talks about speaking. So how to express yourself, how to use your hands, how to relate with people, how to not, how to be able to have a stage presence and everything. Yes. I religiously just watch that guy's videos, short videos, just to understand. Then there's this a podcast of the Diary of a CEO.
I'm listening to that guy, I think, for the second time. Brilliant.
Every week I have to watch at least one of the interviews.
Okay.
That really gets me going. This is some of the very few things that I get to watch quite a lot. So my YouTube even knows the suggestions.
Have you read his book?
No, not yet.
No, I think I'll share it with you.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a part where he talks about at some point he got some money and they got a really interesting office.
Yeah.
And they got so much business because they had an office that had something unique. So probably in relation to this. Yeah, I'll share
That'll
that
be great.
with you.
Yeah. So those are the kind of I like watching and listening more than reading.
Okay.
So if I read, I read basically things that are journals or cybersecurity related and everything. So every day I have a reading.
Okay.
Something I have to read.
Okay.
Religiously, I wake up at 3 in the morning.
Okay.
Just to look at Twitter, LinkedIn, see what is new, and I send to myself or my team.
Okay.
So my team has they know by the time they wake up in the morning, there's a new link
for something that
a
happening.
book they have to read or something that I've seen. I find this interesting, and I'm like, guys, we're going to do an R&D on this. So we're going to can you create a server? You pick this up, get to install this later.
Okay.
Research about it, read more, practice, get this done. So that's the kind of things that we get to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about a trend that is currently in the industry, in your industry and space, that really excites you currently.
The trend that I'm seeing right now, which is getting me going, is when it comes to the speed at which people are learning. And that's something a few older people are not ready to actually take into consideration. So many people are going to be replaced by the fastest way of learning, which is AI that is coming to play. A lot of people are saying, oh, AI will not replace them. It will replace you by the person who uses AI to do work.
Yes.
That trend is going to change in terms of how people learn, in terms of how schools get to work. The other day I was actually at the University Fund conference in Naivasha, and I told them, your PowerPoint slides are going to become useless very soon. Because, for example, if you and I were having this meeting, you know what I'll do? I'll basically open an app here. Where is that app? It's an app that basically gets to, let's say, let me remove this. So let's have the conversation. Let's talk about the topic of education.
Okay.
So education is going to change because the kind of AI tools that we're going to be seeing will be able to record what is happening in classes, and the students will be able to get a flashcard to make it easier for him to study. AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, DeepSeek, and everything can actually look at images and be able to dissect the details of that, right? Even this conversation we are having right now is being recorded, right?
Yes.
As a conversation. And once we finish, it summarizes everything we've said.
Okay.
What do you think it's going to be? So this, if I stop it, it basically does a whole uploading of the audio, does a transcribe. And back in the day, people have been getting jobs of doing what? Transcribing.
That's done.
Yeah, so everything, so you see education is going to change because of the kind of AI tools. You see everything we've written.
Yes.
And I can ask you to summarize for me. So the two of us can be speaking. I speak, you speak, and it does a whole summary.
Whoa. What's the name of that app?
It's called Speak Up.
Speak Up. Okay.
So that's the level we're getting to.
Okay.
You know? So what are teachers going to be doing? What are doctors and nurses and other kind of professions have to start thinking of tools? In the data science world, you have to start thinking of how you treat data, how you get data working. It will still need a whole lot of human element to be able to structure the way these things have to go out. But we have to be able to know how to create workflows, create tools. I mean, there's a whole lot of work that can be done with artificial intelligence, but not around artificial intelligence per se, but the way of studying is going to change as a trend. And I'm already seeing it happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Android or OS?
Both. So I recently just got an iOS phone because of shooting of content and everything. So for videos, iOS wins. That I can give you for free. Pictures, I can say Android can compete. But I primarily have an Android phone just because of the kind of operating systems that I run on it. I run a Kali Linux operating system on it.
On your phone?
Yeah, it's called Kali Net Hunter. And Kali is for security assessments and the like. So works for me, nice and easy. Yeah.
What is one thing that you really had a strong conviction and you believed initially, but over time, it has completely changed?
Wow, that's a hard one. I thought
Either about yourself
Yeah.
or about life or about, it can be anything.
I thought by the age of 30, everything should not start becoming easier. But it's right though, it's a complete opposite. It's becoming harder. More responsibilities, a whole lot of things. I never thought I would get a kid by 35. I thought 35 I'll still be, around, gallivanting around and try to see if I can work in terms of, I thought I'd be focused so much on work because I'm a workaholic in a way. I try to have a balance, but I'm a workaholic to say. I'm not denying it anymore. I used to deny it for so many years, but I am. And that has changed. I used to think that you need a lot of friends or people around you to be able to actually, get you going. But I realized you don't need people to validate something that you know who you are.
Okay.
That has completely changed since after 30. I'm like, I need just very few quality friends around and who I can actually, run things through if I have to, if I want to. Those are some of the things that I've seen that has changed.
How old are you?
I'm 37.
Oh, okay. How do you define success according to yourself? And what legacy do you hope to leave behind?
How do I define success? I think I define success by being able to actually being intentional about something and not just think about it, but actually doing it. That to me is success. It's not about money. I mean, we all like money and everything, but if I think of something that I want to get it done and I get it done, to me that is success. Even if that thing fails, right? So for example, the academy is going on right now. We have a new cohort that we're trying to get to sell and everything. If it doesn't work, I still think it's a successful thing because we've created something that nobody have dared to be able to create, or people have not done it well. A legacy that I'd like to leave behind is to change how cybersecurity gets to be taken in the industry, not just in Kenya, but across the whole continent. So I want to be able to, I'm doing that through Africa Hackon. We have Africa Hackon in Kenya and Ghana. We want to start Rwanda and a few other branches soon in terms of communities. And the only way that can happen is being able to create, I keep on calling it a ripple effect on everybody. If I can teach another person to teach another person who will teach another person without feeling the need that they need to be, without feeling the need that it's too difficult or to share knowledge, that's the legacy that I'm trying to build. And I've been doing that for some time now, and I'm happy that people are able to actually do such things and coming up with their own communities or coming up with their own ways of doing cybersecurity knowledge sharing. So really happy about that. The legacy is still in the works, which I'm building, but that ideally for me it is.
Okay. I wanted to ask another question. Blockchain, you had mentioned about blockchain and stable coins and such stuff.
Yes.
What do you think the future is? Because we can see the banking industry is being affected.
Yes.
With the way things are going. That and AI.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me start with AI. In the world of AI, AI is here to stay. We can't run away from it. And now something new is coming in, which is quantum computing. We can see Microsoft already released a quantum computer chip, which means passwords are going to be cracked in a second or two. Like, it's going to be so easy to crack a lot of algorithms and code out there. AI tools are able to do a lot of reasoning faster than we can ever imagine. Not with a lot of computing power, but even with small computing power. We've already seen a lot of knowledge sharing into all of these AI tools, like OpenAI and the likes have already done that. So a lot of work is going to be built on top of all of those. They become like a cloud where you have to sit on and be able to cruise with it. When it comes to blockchain, it's still a very new area, and a lot of people are trying to understand the blockchain part of things, and they feel or they thought, just the way cloud security was or cloud was in a few years ago, everybody thinks cloud comes with automatic security. No. Blockchain is still something that doesn't have security automatically coming with it, because as much as we're trying to talk about decentralized networks and systems, it's not fully decentralized when it comes to some of the entities, because most systems are not fully decentralized. Some things are still being having a combination of Web 2 and Web 3, right? So it's still a growing area. Cryptocurrencies, I just tell people understand before you get into it. Personally, I don't know how to trade. I don't know when to buy and sell, but some people are really good at buying and selling. So they know when to buy, they know when to sell, they know when to sell, they know when to buy cryptocurrencies, jump from one coin to the other. They understand. It's a thing that you need to spend time understanding. But if you tell somebody, let me give you my account and my passphrase for you to trade for me, not your keys, not your crypto. Right? So that's the area we're getting into. We can't escape it. It's good to disrupt a lot of regions, and when it comes to the financial services side of things, because stable coins are there to help transfer money faster and better. It's cheaper, it's instant. A lot of people are embracing it. If you look at things like USDC is from a stable coin from Circle. It's US dollar 1-to-1. So you can actually have it as a store value, or you can liquidate it, and people are going to build on top of it of other stable coins or get their own stable coins and basically make sure that people can actually transact with that. If you look at something like, say, M-Pesa is typically like a stable coin, just that somebody determines what you can do in terms of the transactions and movement. But on a blockchain, the beauty about blockchain is the fact that, you see, if I send you money right now for donation for a project you're doing for podcasting, yes, do you think anybody can actually hold you accountable as to if you have actually used the 20,000 Kenya shillings for that?
No.
No, because it's up to you to declare or not. Yes. But with the blockchain kind of cryptocurrency transactions, everybody can see the amount, right? Everybody can see the amount. So far as I declare and say this transaction here, here's the transaction hash, this is the amount that I've sent. But some people are there's a lot of hackers or scammers in the background who are doing their thing. Some of the scams are not even blockchain based. They're basically just normal operation scams they are good. So that's where we are going when it comes to blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and AI.
Even those ones are here to stay.
They're here to stay. It's not about to change. Okay. So to cyber criminals, you've given them new avenues to be able to scam. To cybersecurity engineers, we have to start learning how to do different things. That's why we have 41 Swara, be able to do blockchain smart contract audits. You have new businesses where your typical fintech is not going to be your typical fintech. You have to start thinking of the blockchain space to be able to actually diversify your portfolio of offerings. And for many other countries, because cross-border payments is not going to become the normal cross-border payment anymore. You have to get into a stable coin.
True, yeah, for faster processing.
Yep.
Okay, good. Last segment. There's one thing you'd probably like to be known out there that I've probably not asked you, stuff that you would like to share.
I'm a very open person. People think I'm a very closed door. I can't be approached. Mm-hmm. But most people that I've ever get to mentor or who are working with me, it started from an Instagram DM. I kid you not, majority, even half my team, started from Instagram DM or coming to a conference and say, I'm here to see you, and it became something very open. So I'm a very open person. Just that you have to just respect there's have to be some mutual respect.
Okay.
Yeah. And I want people to be able to know that we are in a world of disruption, and there's a lot that we cannot get to share. If we don't get to share, we're never going to move. We can't, there's too much knowledge out there, or trying to keep it to yourself. It can't work. So that's where we're trying to get into right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything to look out for?
The Academy, Africa Hackon Academy. Africa Hackon is changing lives. We want to be able to nurture the next best talent in the world. Okay. So they should look out for the Academy, which is something that we're trying to really push out there. It's academy.africahackon.com.
academy.africahackon.com.
Yes.
Thank you for gracing us with your time.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure and good to be here.
Asante sana.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was good.